Hello, welcome, Devil Sniper here, and this is episode number 8 of our Journeyman Career Mode. As you know, we are in Brazil, and we are at Bahia. So, as you can see on the screen, the team is looking pretty solid. That is probably our strongest physical lineup. We have some absolutely fantastic players. Wallison at this moment in time is probably the best player in the Brazilian league. He is absolutely on fire. We have a very tough away game to Fluminense. A very, very strong side, a very, very good side, a very powerful side. They play really good football. They play slick football. Don't know why I was going to say sick football, but they play very slick, nice, beautiful football. The way I want our boys to play, but I want our boys to play with a little bit more tempo than what Fluminense do. So hopefully the boys will step up and take the game to them. But as you can see, we get off to a nice little start here. 25th minute, very, very dull game, have to say. Freddie down the left-hand side, beautiful turn, puts the ball over the top into William. William with an absolutely sensational cross to the back post, and who else than Wallison is there to slot the ball home with an absolutely fantastic finish. Absolutely beautiful finish. Again, he was going the wrong way. He had to adjust his body, and somehow he manages to volley that in. He completely outwitted the defenders. The ball from William was absolutely fantastic. Just beautifully lobbed over. It's just sensational. Wallison is an amazing player. I'm so lucky to have him at the club. William as well. I mean, we have William on loan and he's playing beautiful football. Unfortunately, some slack defending from our fullback allows Fluminense down the left-hand side. A beautiful cross in and just a simplistic tap in for their striker, which really is just not acceptable. And we went in at half-time with a 1-1 scoreline. One of the things I'm definitely finding that the harder teams that we come up against, the likes of Fluminense, the likes of Vasco da Gama, they're so well disciplined, and it's really highlighting our inability to defend and perhaps our lacklustre midfield at times. Sometimes we just get caught out so easily. Poor defending yet again allows Fluminense an easy opportunity, but we're thankful that they missed. A great save from our goalkeeper, but Gabriel with a fantastic ball through to Wallison. Wallison, for all intents and purposes, you're thinking he's going to score, cuts back, and a great defensive block from the Fluminense centre-back. Absolutely fantastic. But Fluminense had Fred moving forward, using his power, using his strength, walking past our defenders, plays a beautiful ball in. And for some reason our centre-back did not clear the ball, which is really disappointing. It was a simple header. We've been working on that in training. We've been working on it specifically in training. Defensive headering, and he lets us down, which is a great shame. But you've got to give credit to Fred. He was absolutely sensational in that move, showing though, just because he's getting on in years in footballing terms, he's still got that ability, he's still got that power, and he's still got that know-how and knowledge, and he totally utilised it and made us look quite silly, to be honest. It was a fantastic weighted ball to the back post and a fantastic header, and unfortunately we do slump to a defeat at Fluminense. We do lose 2-1, which is a huge disappointment. I had such high expectations. I really thought if we could get a decent result against Fluminense, perhaps, you know, there'll be a big spirit and surge from the fans to believe that we could finish in the top 5. But at this moment in time, I feel that mid-table would be a fantastic finish to the season because we're not playing fantastically, you know. Fluminense highlighted some of the inabilities we have. As I said, it's defensive crossing. We are really bad from crosses. Our defensive headering is atrocious. And also our midfield, our CDMs don't seem to be doing the business. But we move into the next game, which is against Flamengo. And I had to make a number of changes. I brought in Toro because I wanted to bring in his pace. He's a pacey CDM. He gets up and down the pitch fantastically. He does need to work on his short passing. You know, he's got good long passing. He can spot a pass, but his short passing in tricky little areas, he needs to work on that. And this is the sort of game he can, because Flamengo, again, play really good football. You know, they close down, they make it really hard for you to find space. And it's a great opportunity for Toro to actually find some space and pick out a few short passes and hopefully pick out a few long passes and unlock the Flamengo defence. But I've got to say, this is probably my career all-time low. This game was absolutely the worst game I believe the club has ever witnessed, has ever been involved in. It was just awful. Absolutely awful. We really tried as hard as we physically could. I mean, that would have been a sensational goal. I mean, the ability to think, volleying it across for a Wallison header would have been sensational, but we kept trying. Marinda with a great ball over the top for Wallison, but a great defensive header from Flamengo. Absolutely solid as a rock. Flamengo was solid as an absolute rock. Solid, absolutely solid. We went in at half-time. 0-0. And the one thing you're probably thinking to yourself, we didn't actually see an opportunity on goal. And you're so correct. 0 goals, 0 shots, 0 shots on target. It's not something I'm proud of. It's not something I want to see from my teams. I expect my teams to be able to create some space for themselves and pick a shot from 20, 30 yards. It doesn't matter if it goes over. It's the attempt, it's the trying, it's the ability. If you don't have a dig, you won't score a goal. You just won't score. And it's Flamingo early in the second half who create an opportunity. This ball over the top is fantastic. It's out of nothing. Great header. And thankfully our keeper, who has done absolutely nothing, manages to pull off a save. And Wallison, just before the ball is played, is booked. And booked for what? And booked for what? The referees in the Brazilian League are so overzealous to book my players these days. It's really frustrating. And again, poor defensive play allow Flamingo to have an absolutely godly opportunity. It only just went over the bar. It only just went high and wide. But they were taking the opportunities. They were having shots. We were doing nothing. We were creating absolutely nothing. And it really makes me feel that perhaps I'm tactically inept. Perhaps the honeymoon period at this club, for me, is well and truly over. Absolutely. Freddie trying to get in the box, he's not looking up for it. He's not playing at 100%. I do not know what's wrong with the lads, but I've got to say, from my point of view, it's 100% frustrating and really brings me to feel, can I make it as a manager? The statistics are a disgrace. 0 shots. 0 shots on target. Flamingo had 3 shots, 1 on target. I think we should be thankful we got a point. 50-50 in possession, which I think is a positive, because Flamingo are a fantastic side. But there's times in your career you just need to get away. Gather your thoughts. And for me, breathing in that sea air, clearing my head, and going on a roller coaster are the things that bring me back down to earth. That perhaps I was getting too big for my boots. Perhaps the accolades that are being thrown at me, that we were playing well, that we were doing well, that we were rising up the league, were just all too much. Perhaps I need to rethink my strategy. Perhaps I need to rethink the way I manage, the way I train the players, the way I give the players instructions, the way we tactically set up. And this is the best way I can do it. At the seaside, breathing in sea air, going on a roller coaster, and just getting away from the fans, from the club, from the players, and from the media. The one thing I didn't realise in Brazil is how fanatical everybody is about the club, about football. And it does take its toll. I feel I'm at the lowest of the low. I feel the honeymoon is over. I feel I've got to be reborn.